This story, we can bring in Wasim Nasser, our in-house specialist on jihadi movements. Good afternoon. Now we have three different claims for this weekend's attack. Who is responsible here?
Actually, yes, as you're saying, we have three claims. The first one was not really a claim; it was a call on Twitter by the Popular Democratic Ahwazi Front, which was used by some media outlets in Iran to say it's a claim because it occurred a few hours before the attack. Then we had a claim from a spokesperson of another Ahwazi movement for liberation, but at the same time, the group which is he speaks for, who's supposed to speak for, said no, they don't have anything to do with this attack. And at the same time, also the Popular Front said yes, we don't have to do anything also with this attack. In the meantime, we had the claim from the Islamic State. But what's different about the claim made by the Islamic State, and we saw it in the footage just now, we see the three attackers. And so they're issued by an official channel used by the Islamic State for claims. And if you look at the pics which were issued, the photos that were issued by Iranian authorities, we can see a real resemblance with the second jihadi who speaks on the video. Despite this, we see that because two of the jihadis speak in Arabic and the third one speaks in Farsi, but none of them refers to the Islamic State by name or to Baghdadi, but they talk jihad. They talk jihad, they say we are going to attack the Revolutionary Guard, etc., etc. They are wearing the outfit of the Revolutionary Guard with the caps and the keffiyeh used by the Revolutionary Guard. So up to this point, the most credible claim is done by the Islamic State, knowing that some accuse also the jihadis of stealing the video. But when you look closely to the situation in Ahvaz, you see that supporters of the Islamic State issued reports of support, and since back 2014. You see, and we have other jihadi movements in the Ahwaz linked mostly also to Al-Qaeda. This is not to talk about separatist movements. So, of course, it is plausible, since up to this point they are the only ones who issued a video.
So why does the Islamic State group target Iran?
It's not the first time. They already targeted Iran back in June 2017 when they attacked the heart of the capital, Tehran, attacking the Khomeini mausoleum and the building which is used by the Iranian parliament. There were five attackers. And at the time, most of the attackers were of Kurdish, ethnic Kurdish origins, but Iranians. And now we see Ahwazis from Arab origins. So we see that jihadis are trying to capitalize on real grievances which are as old as Iran as a republic, since the 1920s, when the borders were done. They are capitalizing on those grievances of those populations, the Kurdish population or the Arab population, and used for jihad. And for the Islamic State, it is normal to attack Iran, since they consider that Iran has the highest number of boots on the ground soldiers in Syria, fighting the jihadis and other rebel groups, but also in Iraq. We know, for example, that they lost many officers of the Revolutionary Guard in Syria, but we know also that they are recruiting many Shia militias in the region, either in Iraq or Syria. Even Shia Hazara from Afghanistan, who are refugees in Iran, are being sent to fight in Syria in order to gain Iranian nationality. So the problem, or the grievances between Islamic State and Iran, are old, and for the jihadis anyways, they don't recognize any border. So when they have the opportunity to hit Iran on its soil, they will do, knowing that since in the last years they only succeeded 2 times.
Wasim, I'm confused because you have the Islamic State group that has made this claim of responsibility, but Iran's president Hassan Rouhani is laying the finger of blame at U.S. allies in the region.
Of course, but it's because it's that's the reading of the situation, the Iranian reading of the situation. Since the beginning, they accuse the Americans of being behind the Islamic State and being the real puppet masters behind the Islamic State. On the same way they accuse Israel, and on the same way they accuse Arab countries from the Gulf, for example. But when you look at facts, you see that it's not the case. And of course, the Iranians will try to use this terror attack in order to capitalize on it. For example, when Rouhani is going to speak at the General Assembly, you see now we're going into politics. You see, we're going into politics, and Arab countries, Gulf countries, are a bit embarrassed because they, in a way, cheered this attack when it occurred. And now that the Islamic State claimed it, So they are in a situation, in a very particular situation, and the jihadis know this, and this is why I told you first that they are capitalizing on real grievances. So for the regular population or the regular people there, they will say, look, the jihadis put up the fight and Arab states are just talking. So this is important because we are looking into politics and to perception of things for people on the ground and for state who have many contradictory interests.
It's a complicated one, tricky one. Wasim, thank you very much for that. Wasim Nasser there. In other